What is going on, everyone? Yu-Gi-Oh here, and we are back with another video. Today, we are looking at a 2.5 card combo that includes Ohime and Revolution Synchron in hand. Now, most of our combos and our most impactful combos come when we have Neospace Connector, but I wanted to show you a slightly different line or a slightly different combo that doesn't require connector, because let's face it, you're not always going to have access to him. And this combo will allow you to grab 2 OMNI-NEGATES in less than 5 summons, and it does not utilize your normal summon. So if you do have a normal summon in your hand or something else that can be normal summoned for extension, for example, this is a great combo to kind of use as a building block and then extend outwards from. So I hope this interaction point is going to be interesting for you. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Mikankguu content. So with that all being said, let's get into this combo. So we're going to start with activating Ohime's effect to reveal, and then we're going to add a ceremony to hand and get rid of our discard. Now, if you have a Jet Synchron, that's a great discard. If you have a Mikankguu girl or some other equip, for example, those are all great discard outlets, and we designed this deck list so that way you have good discard outlets just in case you need to use Ohime or Dolphin's effect to get your plays rolling. So now that we have ceremony in hand, we're going to fire it off, and we're going to special out our Ohime. Of course, that point, we have ceremony hitting the graveyard, and we have, like I said, still Revolution Synchron in hand. So at this point, we don't have any equips in graveyard, so we can't activate Ohime's effect to grab something, but it's not a big deal. We're going to then use Revolution Synchron in hand and Ohime on field to go into what I like to call Isolde 2.0, and that's our Powertool Braver Dragon here. This is a great card. It's unashable because you're going to equip your equip cards up to 3 from graveyard or directly from your deck. So that's what we're going to end up doing. So we're going to equip a Durendal, we're going to equip an Arabesque, and we're going to equip a Mayo-Wishadori. So we're going to equip all of these cards here to our Powertool Braver Dragon, and then we're going to activate our Durendal effect to search for a level 4 or lower warrior fire warrior monster, and that's going to be our Renault here. So we're going to add Renault to hand. Of course, Durendal falls off. At this point, we're going to activate Revolution Synchron's effect to mill a card and then special itself. So we mill, for example, the Talents. That's completely fine. Make sure you do shuffle the deck, though, before you do this, because you did dig into it while you were looking for your equips. So just a heads up on that. Of course, the Revolution Synchron comes back as a level 1. Powertool Braver is a level 9. And as you saw with our Neospace Connector combo with Revolution Synchron in hand, this gets us access to our Barone line, and we did it in under 5 summons. And the key piece to all of this as well is you now have Arabesque and Mayo-Wishadori in rotation in your graveyard off of this Synchro summon. So we're going to do our Baron Synchro here, and there's our OMNI-NEGATE, less than 5 summons. We haven't used a normal summon yet. All this is really, really good. What we're then going to end up doing is going into our graveyard and activating our ceremony. We're going to banish it for cost, and then we're going to send, in this case, again, depending on what your discard was, we're going to send the Hare here. Okay, Hare is going to be sent to graveyard, and then we're going to activate Mayo-Wishadori's effect, targeting the Hare to then bring it back. And this is going to now equip. So we're going to go Hare effect, and we're going to activate our Fire Dance. Or sorry, not activate our Fire Dance, but grab our Fire Dance from deck and add it to our hand. So what we're going to do, now we have a Fire Warrior on field, is we're going to special summon our Renault. It becomes a tuner, but we also can activate its effect to grab and equip from grave. We're going to target the Arabesque, and we're going to add that to hand. So right now we have Arabesque in hand, and we also have a Fire Dance, okay? What we'll do at this point is actually activate Arabesque here and equip it to Hare. And we're going to activate Arabesque's effect, and we're then going to special out our Huli. Okay, and then we are then going to bounce the Hare. It should come back to hand, but because it was brought back by Mayo-Wishadori, it's going to get banished instead. So don't forget that little, play. Mayo-Wishadori then falls off to the graveyard. Now we have a level 3, and Renault is still a tuner, so that's always really good. But of course, we have to activate Huli's effect because it's equipped now with Arabesque. So we're going to activate her effect. You've got a few different options here. You can go with your Promise line because you are going to have an equip engrave to do a Nini Snatch Steal. You can also grab a, and I like to do this depending on the game state. If it's game 3 and we're playing with time, I like to grab a Spirit Walk here. And you'll see that although, you know, with Spirit Walk, we don't get the burn effect, it is really nice to have that added pressure of taking an opponent's card. So you've got a few different options on how you want to go about doing this. You may also decide to go for a rivalry, and that's completely fine as well, because you will have a Mikankguu on field by the end of this. So maybe in this case, we'll grab the rivalry because it can be a snatch steal as well. It could also be an imperm with Axe of Fools. So we'll just end up going with the rivalry here. So what we'll do is we'll again have a level 1 tuner, level 3. We will synchro these off and go into a herald. Okay. Now, again, in some cases, you may be able to keep the Ohime on field for other plays, and that's where the Spirit Walk would come in handy as well. So just keep that in mind. You do need to have a ritual up on board to do this. So great. So now we have 2 Omni-Negates plus a mini Macrocosmo in under 5 summons, not using a normal summon. We can then go Fire Dance. We can bring back the Huli here. And of course, Huli will be equipped with the Fire Dance. So it can't be targeted, neither can this. That's really nice, and we have, again, the rivalry as well that we can play. And remember, we have not used a normal summon for this. And if we have a card that we can normal summon here, we can link these off and we can go maybe into an IP play, in which case we would have grabbed a Promise and played from there. So it's really, really nice to have alternative routes to the same destination, and it keeps our opponent guessing, especially because when you have an Ohime on field, it threatens the possibility of bringing out a Powertool Braver Dragon, and that can be just as impactful as going into an Isolde line. So these are all just things to keep in mind as you're kind of working through the deck list. I will say that I am trying different ratios right now within the 49 card build and trying a legitimate second normal summon alternative, because like I said, we don't always see Connector, and even though we can dig for him with certain search cards and draw cards, it's nice to have alternative lines that have some more flexibility. So this is what we get off of this. Again, it's 3 interactions, which is really good, and a Macrocosmo or a mini Macrocosmo, which can threaten a lot of different board states as well. And this rivalry can be anything that you want. So if you think an imperm is impactful in that moment, you can go rivalry, Axe of Fools, and imperm that card. If you think a snatch steal is more impactful, then you can rondo and grab their card as well. So those are all different options that you have at your disposal. And you know, a Baron that is an Omni-Negate in and of itself can be very threatening. But if you see any lines off of those 2 cards that you think is more impactful, please let me know in the comments below. We're optimizing this deck every single day, and so I approach it as a community build. The more you have invested in this deck, the more I'm willing to share and willing to give back, because we want to make this a really interesting and viable rogue option for the current meta. So with that all being said, folks, thank you so much for your time. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Here. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Mikankguu content. Signing out.